How's it going, guys? As promised, what this will be is another episode of, I call it Recon or Sniping highlights, where I basically, of course, piece together particular moments that I found really interesting or matches that wouldn't stand well on their own, piece them together into a montage type and do a commentary over it. And it's, like I say in every single video I usually post, it's probably my most popular ongoing series since when I was back on Battlefield 3. So here's more of it today with some, as you see, impact grenades, and you'll see some people and tanks get C4'd as well. So stand back and enjoy it. Basically, what I wanted to talk about quickly, of course, though, is and I wanted to do another Q&A video a while ago. Of course, my last Recon highlight series, I think it was, I made sort of a what do you think of Battlefield 4 style commentary, which was well received. I'm glad you guys liked it. The thing about it, though, is I did ask for questions to put into a Q&A in the future, and the problem was, and it's my fault, I put together that idea of a questionnaire in the video so you could post your questions in the comments, but I also asked what your opinion on Battlefield 4 was. So everyone had a much higher question ratio or at least comment ratio in terms of what they thought and the problems in Battlefield 4 were. So the questions sort of got drowned out. Nobody asked me an awful lot of questions in the first round, but that's okay, because from that video and like the next couple of videos after that I've posted since, a lot of you guys do ask me a lot of frequent questions, and a lot of the time, since these Recon highlight videos are quite long a lot of the time, and especially since there hasn't been a lot of news lately, I don't really know what to put for commentaries for 10 minutes a lot of the time, but a Q&A works perfect for them. So what I'll do with no further ado is I gathered some questions, and I'll basically posting a Q&A based on the questions you've asked. So here we go, of course. First things first is, if you guys have noticed that I've been posting more live commentaries lately, and I plan to in the future, and I know I understand the problem being that I'm still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to, because I'm not really a talker when I play. Some people talk I'm a talker when I have people to talk to. Like when I'm playing with my friends, it's fine. I usually, you can't get me to shut up actually when I'm playing with my friends. But when I'm playing solo, I'm usually more concentrated, so I don't talk. So it still feels sort of weird for me to talk into a microphone for the most part when I'm not really talking to anyone in particular. So, but on top of that, I'll definitely try and talk more for live commentaries, and on top of that, I'll be getting a new mic soon. So on top of that, you will see improved quality, probably in terms of just normal commentaries like this and live commentaries in the future. So that's one thing to be addressed, and I know I had a question of what's wrong with my voice in the commentary, and trust me, that'll be fixed. So that's the one question. The next one question I was asked, which I liked, was if you could add, remove, or change anything in Battlefield 4, what would that be? And by far number one would be probably removing a lot of the like anti-air or extreme explosive weapons. To be perfectly honest, I think it's too bloated. There's so many ways to explode people that it almost beats the amount of ways that you can shoot people. It seems really weird that way. Like you got the LVGs, you got tons of different grenades, you got C4, you got mines, you got everything. The mines I'd keep, C4 I'd keep, but it's the bloated ones, like the one that was introduced in the Naval Strike. I don't see it used much, but it's the fact that it's still there. It's like the 3 tubes, the doot tubes that come out at once. I'd get rid of that one, the 3 LVG or whatever it is. I remove a few of those. I remove just the bloated explosives. There's just too many. I'd also probably remove the anti-air from a few maps. I just don't feel it's needed. I feel it's with active radar. And that's another one, active radar, I'd get rid of entirely. I don't know why that was put in at all. It just seems like it slows down and congests the maps a lot of the time, because it doesn't kill the little bird, but at the same time it slows it down enough that someone else might. I would keep some stingers in. I feel you need that balance, but I would probably maybe cut the time it takes ECM jam to recover maybe by a third. So maybe if it's 22 seconds, maybe cut 4 or 5 seconds off it, something like that, whatever it averages out to. But there are a few things I'd change, but for the most part I feel with CTE being a nice breakdown, and with what we're seeing as patches come out, I feel Battlefield 4 is finally reaching what it probably should have been at release now. But of course there'll be tweaks as we go. My next question I get asked a lot of the time is, what games am I going to be playing in the future? I've been asked if I'm going to play Dark Souls, and I haven't really looked into Dark Souls, but I might. It depends. It depends on how I feel about Battlefield 4. Right now, I'm still having fun playing it, but if it does change, because especially with Dragon's Teeth, I'm hoping that DLC lives up to be exactly what I'm hoping it is, with sort of a close quarters combat style thing that hopefully explosives in that riot shield don't, you know, wreck the balance. But if that ends up being like a close quarters DLC like Battlefield 3 was, then I can definitely see myself having a lot of fun in Battlefield 4 for probably the rest of the summer. But that being said, I still, like I've said in other commentaries, if GTA 5 eventually comes to PC, if Destiny comes to PC, we're not sure on those two, then I'll be getting those. But if Borderlands, but I will be getting the Borderlands that'll be coming out, the sort of the pre-sequel one that feels almost like an expansion DLC regardless. I'm a big Borderlands fan, so I will be getting that one. That one I will play. The next question is more personal along those lines. I get a question now a lot, how old am I? I'm actually 26. Yeah, I'm still in university because I've switched my majors multiple times, and I was out 2 years before I even went because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and instead of wasting the money, I made pretty decent money working construction for a few years. I went into science for 2 years. I didn't like it at all. Biochem science, actually. I have the background in it. I still enjoy science as sort of a read-on-your-own sort of time frame. Astronomy's always been an interest of mine. Weather and climatology's been a huge big thing for me as well. Anytime a severe thunderstorm or tornado hits anywhere near my area, I'm outside taking pictures of it all the time. That's a blast for me. But the problem, of course, is that for me, it was going into science in that degree was like, or that section for 2 years was like, and I was there from 8 to 5 every day. Then you had labs, then you had tests, then you had assignments, then you had everything else. And it was every bit of joy I got from studying and researching that, the joy was just completely taken away from me. I hated going every day after a while. I still got decent marks, but I hated going. And you only live once in this life. I hate that YOLO term, but still, you only live once in this life. Why should you be miserable all the time? Especially since teaching and research are probably what I'd be going into after that. Neither of the two are something I really want to explore, so I ended up switching out of it, and I'm happier now where I am, despite science being my true passion. But that's sort of off topic for me there, education age-wise. The other thing is, because I'm from Canada, I'm from Ontario, a lot of people ask if I speak French, and that answer is no. I know the basics, bonjour, for hello, maybe some contractions and that along the way, but that's about it. I'm not very good with French. I might teach myself. That's about it. I also get asked a lot if I have a firearm history, and I do have my Ontario firearms license. I can go and get guns if I choose. But I don't have the money for them now, so I don't bother. And on top of that, you need a range license. You need to buy a registration for the range, which is another couple $100. So I don't have experience firing. I have fired weapons. I've fired a few pistols. I fired an SKS, a Mosin Nagant, a couple of other rifles, and those are a lot of fun to fire. But I don't actually own them, and of course, I've never been in the army or anything like that, so it doesn't matter there. I get asked a lot what my favorite weapon is, of course, and sniper rifle is M98B. I think the SRR-61 is the one that anyone can have great success with if they get used to it. The Gold Magnum's probably the best aggressive recon one, but I still like my M98B, of course. I like the MG4 and the AWS, of course, if you switch to support. I like the AK-5C and the ACE-52 for engineering. And I like... I don't really like the Ace-23 as much as most people do. I love the Scar H. That's probably my favorite assault weapon, and a couple of others. The other thing too, because I forgot about it, the one thing I would change in Battlefield 4 going back is I'd reduce the screen shake and the amount of explosives. Like I said, the screen shake, I understand why explosives would shake you around a bit, but it seems too much for me. So that's why I'd change that. And the last couple of questions all the time is, I get asked a lot, why did I get into YouTube? And basically, it started a while ago with my cousin and my brother when I was playing Call of Duty, saying, you're getting better scores than a lot of the guys people are posting. Why don't you just try posting, see if people like your videos? So I posted a few. They were well received, but I didn't grow very quickly. So I was thinking of giving it up. But weirdly, right as I was about to say, okay, I'm going to scrap this, not bother playing anymore, I ended up getting a growth of like 200 subscribers in a couple of days because a couple of them saw my it was an old video I made. It was like a nuke montage, and everyone's like, "This is awesome!" So you see them subscribe, and then I just kept going. And then when Battlefield came out, because I didn't really like the new Call of Duties all that much, it just hit. It stuck. People enjoyed it. So I ended up sticking with it, and now I just crossed 17,000 subscribers, and I plan on sticking with it for now as well, because I'm still enjoying it, still having fun. But it does feel weird that a guy that's played sports his whole life, still plays every week, is posting YouTube and video game videos. It's still 17,000 subscribers still hasn't really hit me very well. It's weird. The next two, of course, before the video ends, is that I get asked all the time, should I buy premium? My answer would be to you play the base game, and if you don't mind playing through some lag and some bugs, then go ahead, enjoy the DLCs. But if you haven't played the base game and you like a pristine, perfect game, then do not waste your money. That would be my view. Of course, you can beg to differ, and that's how it works. And of course, the next one here is that Battlefield Hardline Cops and Robbers game. Everyone asks my opinion on it, and recently I posted in one of X Factor's videos my thoughts. You can check Google Plus for it. But I'll answer a more elongated answer in a couple of other videos in the future. So before I end it here, basically, if you have any questions at all, ask them, and I'll save them for another Recon Highlights series video in the future. Ask more questions, people. Anything, and ideally, if it's not too controversial, I answer it.